Hello everybody, welcome back. Sin City Living, Jason here bringing you today's video. As always guys, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. Got a ton of videos that we try and bring out to you guys. Although I've gotten one email like the last 3 weeks. So guys, please email us any strategies, thoughts, ideas for any games. I'm thinking about doing a UTH video, thinking about doing some more roulette videos, but please email us. Whatever you'd like to see, we will film it. I promise you. Thank you, by the way, everybody, for the coffees. Really appreciate it. We're not showing off any coffees because I'm saving up. I got a concert I'm really hoping to be able to go to in a few months. And last thing, with Super Bowl coming up, remember, guys, that online casino I found, that really good one, just check down below if you're interested, has an excellent sports book. So you can make your bets. You can make those Super Bowl bets before it comes up, and especially before the odds start changing on you. All right, so today, since I haven't gotten any emails from people, I want to just kind of pull some ideas out my rear end, or out my fourth point of contact, as we would say in the airborne. So today I'm going to talk about some of the most common, I'm not sure how to phrase this, player misbehaviors, I suppose, things that players get warned about or potentially in trouble for, or eventually kick off tables for. So the first one is the one that comes up probably the most often, and it is language. Now we allow, up to a point, we allow some language, especially a little, little grumbling or cussing underneath the breath. So we know it's not directed at anybody. The dice go, you're on a decent roll, dice go to 7, and somebody, you kind of, mumble an F-bomb, probably not going to say anything. You scream out an F-bomb, they're probably going to say something to you. And people that every fourth word is the top of their lungs, F-bomb, it's not going to be tolerated for very long. They'll get some warnings, and eventually it doesn't happen very often because most people, because again, we're generally pretty good natured about how we give people warnings. So most people respond to it just fine. But every so often, we end up having to kick somebody off the table. It happens. It's happened. I could even begin to make a guess, actually, how many people I've kicked off the table for their language. It's probably the number one thing that I've had to kick somebody off the table for. And it's funny because we get, they of course want to argue with us. My favorite one is, well, I'm an adult. Well, then act like one. Act like one. Act like an adult that's in public. If you don't know how adults should act in public, well, I don't have to tell you, but you definitely have somebody in your past that needs to be reprimanded for the teachings you received. And also, people, we're an adult place. Actually, not most of the casinos allow children. They're just not allowed to stay in the gambling area, but they're walking through all the time. So yes, watch your language. Watch your language. Another big one, harassing other players. Harassing other players. And this comes up in a couple of different ways. Number one, you see it a lot with people that, with the superstitions. So you got a superstitious player, and either another player or multiple other players start mocking this person for their superstitions. It certainly does happen. Or the other way around, the superstitious person starts yelling at the other players for something. Or betting styles. It absolutely blows my mind every time I see someone bet the don't, and they become a target. Everybody wants to be talking directly to them every time there's a winner thrown, something along those lines. It's funny because I don't see that on roulette. When someone bets red and someone else bets black, they're not mocking each other, yelling at each other, laughing at each other, or expecting, oh, you're betting against me. Take that. Yeah, I told you shouldn't have bet against me. Oh, good. You lost again. Good. I mean, that's just, come on, guys. You guys are, again, adults. People are adults. But yeah, the harassing other players, I see that one all the time. Next up, short rolls. Short rolling the dice, not hitting the back wall with both dice every single roll. What really amuses me are when people miss the back wall and they get a warning. It's the first time I've done it. If it's the first time you've done it, I promise you we are not warning you. It's a guarantee. By the time we're warning you, you've done it 3 or 4 times. Really amuses me when they clearly don't hit the back wall, and one might hit the back wall, but the other one doesn't, and we'll tell you, you gotta hit that back wall. No, they did. Yeah, sure they did. Just hit the back wall. The argument, I understand. The dice are not that heavy. Just hit the back wall. Don't have to argue about it. As long as people are making a good faith effort, if I've warned somebody, if I've given someone even 2 or 3 warnings and they're really close to getting cut off from shooting. If they hit the wall for the next 15 rolls and then they have one that misses the wall pretty close, I may not say a word. I may be nice and silent because they're making a good faith effort at that point. But good faith effort only goes so far. Those dice need to hit the back wall to ensure a fair roll for everybody. String bets and stroker bets. Now, this is something that is one of those things that gets warned about or interceded on. But people that make string bets, people that make deliberate stroke type bets, and those are the people that definitely are not going to get any help from the dealers. That's for sure. Dealers are not going to help them one bit. Obviously, not going to actively work against them, but they're not going to help them. However, people that take shots, 100% going to be an issue at some point. Here's an example of one. This one actually just came up the other day. This player is kind of legendary too for one of the stupidest betting styles I've ever seen. We've actually done a video on his betting style. But he did, let's say it was like a note 10, $520 lay on the 10. Not sure where my lay buttons are. So $520 direct lay on the 10. Almost immediately a winner 10 rolls. And they were pretty clear with their bet when they made that bet because there was an issue. So both the box and the dealer asked them a couple times what it was they were betting. It was very clearly note 10. Right, 10 rolls, and he starts throwing a fit, wondering why he's not getting paid, because he says he made it as a place bet. Now, they weren't having any of it, because first off, that can happen with players that honestly don't know what they're betting. It's happened, and we have to tell you, I'm sorry, but I know you misunderstood the bet. Clearly, you misunderstood the bet, but you said no 10. That's what that no 10. Lay on the 10. And then we set it up that way in front of your face. This player, however, absolutely knows the game. Absolutely knows the game. They saw their bet. They very clearly said no 10. They saw where their bet was placed. They saw the lay button on it. They paid the VIG. They paid the VIG up front. This player absolutely knows. There is no way they paid a VIG and thought they were placing it. No way. They are very, very, very familiar with the game of craps. So they went and they threw a big fit. The boss wasn't having it. They kept complaining. They kept escalating up to the next person they could complain to, till eventually someone made the decision of, you know what, go ahead and give him his money back just to shut him up. But if there is ever even the slightest issue, he will be done playing here forever. Forever. He will never be allowed to play craps again. But here's the thing. One of his things that he was saying while he was escalating up the chain is, why would I do a $520 lay? I never do a $520 lay, which off the top of my head, I think of half a dozen times. This is the last 2 times I dealt with him. They gave him back his money. Within 5 minutes, $520 no 10. He bet a $500, and oh boy, were they clear about that. They made damn sure he was they knew exactly what he was betting. This is a player that has pretty much always had extra eyes on him because he's such a shot taker. But now every eye is going to be on him all the time. And in fact, the tiniest little slip up, no matter how minor, at this point now, they are almost guaranteed to be looking for a reason to ban him from playing. Guaranteed. So the tiniest little infraction, they'll jump on him. They'll hope that he argues with them. If it's too minor to kick him off the table, they'll hope he argues with them, and that will escalate up to where they can kick him out. I promise, I guarantee you that he generally plays between 2 to 4 times a week. So I would be shocked if he's still allowed to play there within the next 4 weeks, and I would guarantee that within the next 6 months he gets kicked out and banned. Guaranteed. Any kind of conflict with the dealers and the box, it's a bad idea, guys. It's a bad idea, and here's the thing. Here's the reason why. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. Even if you do happen to win, like the player I just talked about, the shot. Like, everybody knew he was taking a shot. At that point, yeah, sure, it seems like he won, but again, he now has a target. Every eye is on him. Every single eye, and they're just looking for the tiniest excuse, right? But very, very, very rarely does a conflict come up where the player wins. Very, very rarely. And especially once people get so fired up, they start cussing. And they start cussing. You don't cuss at the dealers, you don't cuss at the employees, and they're not going to put up with it. It doesn't matter. At that point, it doesn't matter if you were right or not. Now it's your attitude that's going to get you kicked out, not what actually ended up happening. So what I always advise people, if there's an issue, if there's a problem, you calmly address it, ask them to take a look, and then abide by their decision. If you don't like their decision, continuing to argue about it will do absolutely nothing. I promise you, will do absolutely nothing. So if you don't like their decision, leave the table and then escalate it up. Go to another pit, ask, hey, can I talk to the shift boss? And, again, very calmly. Now, if you have an issue with the dealer, because guys, don't get me wrong, when I say things like, you'll never win and it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, sometimes the player is absolutely right. Now, again, they completely wipe away all of how much they may be right as soon as they start raising their voice, yelling or cussing. Guaranteed. Period. Done. Doesn't matter at that point. It does not matter if you're right or wrong. You were wrong. Period. Because you were wrong for your attitude more than anything else. I guarantee they're not yelling at you. Guarantee they're not cussing at you. You start doing that right there makes you wrong. The original issue does not matter. Guys, there are definitely bad dealers. Absolutely bad dealers. There are bad dealers that have bad attitudes. Getting into it with the dealer on the table will get you nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Get you nowhere. Guarantee it. Promise you. So if you have an issue with a dealer, don't get into it with them. Again, step away from the table. Find another table to play at. And ask to talk to the pit boss or the shift boss. Or, even better, and this has been suggested before, and I 100% support this, send an email. Send an email. Make sure you have that dealer's name. Don't make a big production out of it. Oh, what's your name? I'm going to make it. No, just, everybody's wearing a name tag. Everybody's wearing a name tag. It's not hard to get their name. Get their name. Send an email. Send an email, or walk away, go find one of the security guards and say, hey, where would I go for a comment card? There you go. That's it. Step away, because again, you get into it with the deal. I know a dealer that has a really bad attitude and will push players that even mildly annoy him. He will push their buttons on purpose, push their buttons until they get mad at him, start cussing at him, something like that, and then they get kicked out. When I worked with this guy, it was a once a week occurrence. Once a week occurrence. He's a good buddy of mine, but yeah, it was a once a week occurrence. Somebody got kicked out because they got into it with him, and I guarantee it was because of his attitude. He pretty much pushed it. So again, you're not going to win, even if you're right. So when you're right, do it the right way. Step away, find another table, talk to the appropriate people, ask for the pit boss, ask for the shift manager, or again, you can just go to security. Any security guard, just ask them, hey, where would I go to get a comment card? Which, by the way, if you guys have an awesome dealer, please go fill a comment card out on them. That believe me, that helps more than anything else. So I hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening. Oh, I forgot the last one. Don't touch the dealer. Don't ever touch the dealer. Incidental contact, no big deal. But outside of that, do not ever, ever, ever touch the dealers. Big no-no. Big no-no. So now, hope you guys find it interesting, illuminating, enlightening, or at least just plain fun. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll catch you next time.